Greetings and welcome to your destination. You've reached the Psychological Wellness Hub. We aim to help you build your knowledge and wellness around better understanding mental health and psychological concepts. Welcome back to the channel. Today's topic is another psychological wellness skill. That is anxiety skill number 3, getting to know your destructive anxiety better. Quick review. Guess what? We are born with anxiety. Go back to anxiety skill number 2 video to learn more. That's right, it doesn't just show up one day, it's naturally embedded in our nervous system. That communication highway from our brain, through our spine, through our limbs. Ever notice something called our fight, flight, freeze system? That's our survival instinct. This is also part of our anxiety system. Quick review, natural healthy anxiety versus destructive anxiety. Natural anxiety helps us navigate daily life. Destructive anxiety creates roadblocks and barriers, making navigating daily life more difficult. We're not born with destructive anxiety. It's a breakdown of our healthy anxiety system. Seeing the difference between good and destructive anxiety. Ever notice that we have psychological defense mechanisms that we use to insulate and protect us from emotional pain? Guess what? That is an extension of our healthy anxiety as it's hitting maximum tolerance. Ever notice that as we get closer to hitting the maximum tolerance of anxiety, we dig in and use our psychological defenses more often to protect ourselves from uncomfortable feelings? Ever wonder what that turns into? We'll talk about that in another video. In the meantime, let's continue to look at the destructive anxiety and how it's different from healthy anxiety. Think about anxiety like a computer. What happens when a computer starts to get too many errors? Right, it starts to perform slower and malfunction. Think about healthy anxiety breaking down in the same way, creating a release of the destructive anxiety, which is not supposed to be there inside of us. Those nasty symptoms that you come to know as anxiety or an anxiety disorder. Think about how our body alerts us as this is happening along the way and we just don't pay attention, especially when it's little things that we never associate with anxiety breaking down. Things like pain, tension, restlessness, dreams, nightmares, withdrawal from others. These each by themselves are not a single sign of healthy anxiety system breaking down, but collectively they become red flags. In life, we have red flags that warn us of potential difficulties and dangers. We often overlook them over time, and we suffer the break in the dam after the buildup. Now, think about our body and our mind like a car. A car has a check engine light. When it goes off, most times it's alerting you to something that needs future attention. Occasionally, there is something major that triggers it. We are all different. Some of us want to get to this alert right away, and some of us feel like it can wait. However, when we look into the alert, we can often be misguided or misdirected by this alert. Are you getting the picture now? If not, let me explain further. When our healthy system starts to break down, there's usually some clues, and either way, we pay attention or we don't. So let's imagine that you're just living life like anybody does. One day you're sitting there minding your own business, and all of a sudden you have an anxiety show up. Anxiety attacks you out of nowhere, and then symptoms start to scare us, start to threaten us. You have no context or history of this to know what the heck to do in this situation. If you are a worker, your field does not train you for this. If you are a military service member, there's nothing in the field manual that helps you with this. This leaves you feeling stuck, alien, like the only person in the world who is dealing with this. This can feel quite threatening and scary, so you engage in some avoidance. We sweep the symptoms under the rug. We push them away. You suppress them. They go away fairly easy when we do this. We feel relief. And this may last for weeks, months, or even longer. However, I want you to think about this for a minute. When we push something away like this, and we don't deal with it, what usually happens? Or with anything we push away that we don't deal with, what usually happens? You got it. It comes back even stronger the next time, maybe even twice as strong. When this happens, you haven't learned to deal with it, and humans are creatures of habit. So you'll do what you did last time and sweep it under the rug, sweep it away, suppress it. And like last time, you're able to get away from it fairly easily. However, this time, because the symptoms are stronger, you have to go for a second, stronger pass to sweep away or suppress the remaining symptoms. They go away for a while, like last time. Well, now imagine you've done this multiple times, over and over again. This is a lot like, throwing stuff into that junk closet, right? Like you've seen on TV and the movies where people keep pushing stuff in the closet, pushing the stuff in the closet, pushing the stuff in the closet. And then what happens? One day you open that closet and boom, all that stuff comes falling out on you. Like an avalanche coming down a mountain. As you keep doing this over and over, the pile just builds up. It's now more powerful than ever. You do the creature of habit thing, being that you're human and you haven't learned anything new, so you sweep and stuff these things, these nasty symptoms just away. Now there's a problem because you can only get one or two of these symptoms to go away when you do this. The rest are here to stay. They come at you from all directions, causing trouble. They come at you in things like your work or at inconvenient times at work. They come at you in relationships with your family members, your spouse, your child. Now it feels like you're stuck with these symptoms forever, and they stay with you and torture you. Only occasionally does one of these symptoms seem to fade out, only to disappoint you by being replaced by another. For example, if you're dealing with tension, restlessness, and chest pressure, after a while the chest pressure dissipates, but then the anticipation comes in, making you obsess about the what ifs and the bad things that are going to happen in the future. Here is the good news. I said feel stuck, and I repeated it earlier. Guess what? Destructive anxiety does not want you to know it has weaknesses. That's right. Like a bully wanting you to think it's in charge. But we'll save that for another video. In the meantime, let's focus on the topic at hand, learning more about this destructive anxiety. How can we tap into destructive anxiety further, or places to find it? First, go back to the channel, look at more of the several videos on anxiety and anxiety disorders. Watch them all because you might miss out on something worthy. Then go watch videos on the channel about other conditions because they can clue you into things about anxiety. Go back to the channel, watch videos on psychological wellness skills. Again, watch them fully because you might just miss out on something worthy. Remember, anxiety education is all around you. You just have to look for it. Take notes and apply each thing you learn to your own anxiety. Build on it layer by layer. Learn that there are proactive, active, and post-active ways to intervene against anxiety on your behalf. Other places we can find anxiety by distinguishing between them, between the healthy and the destructive anxiety include, but are not limited to, look at your daily actions and decide, are you promoting healthy anxiety or encouraging destructive anxiety? Our relationships with people that we care about and loved ones. Anxiety also has a social component. See other videos on this. Learn from others and their experiences with anxiety. Have you ever heard the expression, absence makes the heart grow fonder? When you're missing and yearning to be near that person, guess what? That's healthy anxiety. Excessive isolation promotes destructive anxiety. Observe your everyday actions and intentions. Is it in service of encouraging destructive anxiety or promoting healthy anxiety? Do you ever find yourself avoiding or doing things because they upset you? Guess what? Destructive anxiety loves it when you pass up on those opportunities. Observing your environment, things like nature, landscape, sky, material possessions. Some animals run in fear for good reason. If a gazelle is running because a cheetah is trying to eat it, it is in survival and protection mode. The gazelle uses the healthy anxiety for this. However, if that same gazelle doesn't take risks to find food to build up energy because he's afraid another cheetah is around the corner, it's going to get weaker. What happens the next time the gazelle gets chased? It's fatigued and no fuel in its gas tank from not eating. You getting the picture more? Seeing the good and potential in our fellow human beings, our communities, the support we receive and give. Read books and articles or movies on inspirational people. Learn about how they overcame their fears and barriers. Things like actors, musicians, those kinds of folks. Learn how they didn't let destructive anxiety run or ruin their lives. How they overcame the challenges. Visit reputable websites on anxiety, things like the Anxiety and Depression Association website and others. There are tons of them out there. Seek out other channels on YouTube. While we are proud of this channel and this community, and we feel it's an invaluable resource, this channel is not the only resource on this website. Diversify your education. Evaluate your values. How does anxiety challenge them? How do you maintain them and not give in to the destructive anxiety? Tap into your faith, moral, spirit. How does destructive anxiety struggle to contain these? Tap into hope. Embrace your self-esteem. Build it. Learn how anxiety does not like you to have this, especially destructive anxiety. Think about how when you accomplish something, what does that do to your esteem? And guess what that does to destructive anxiety? It pisses destructive anxiety off because it loses its grip on you temporarily. Destructive anxiety does not like smart and wise people who can outwit it through education. You just need to seek it out intentionally every day, little by little, one foot in front of the other. Train your brain to see the destructive anxiety's dirty little secrets it wants to keep concealed from you. Please feel free to revisit the channel on the playlist for other skills related to anxiety or other different skills to enhance and grow your psychological wellness. Examples. I'm going to give you some examples of individuals who tap into their destructive anxiety in their lives. Please note these are not real people, but they represent real stories and real scenarios. Listen while I tell you about their story. Listen for examples of them seeing destructive anxiety. Emmanuel is a 21-year-old pharmacy student in college. He studies and works to get reasonable grades. He has hopes one day of becoming a pharmacist. As he studies for his test, he notices he gets worked up and how it's distracting him, so he learns to take breaks periodically. He hears about his classmates doing well on tests, and he compares himself to them, convincing himself long before he takes a test he's going to fail. He gets an invite from a friend to go to a movie and blow off some steam, but he turns this down, telling himself it would be wasting time. Then he worries for several hours and realizes he might have taken that offer for the movies. Emmanuel sees the destructive anxiety. He sees how he gets worked up for studying tests. He compares himself to his classmates with too much weight. It allows him to convince himself he's going to fail. He turns down his opportunities for a healthy break and worries incessantly about his tests. Mary is a single mother of 4 children whom are still young. Mary is challenged every day with caring for others and their needs. She is kind enough to herself to allow enough attention to notice something she read on a billboard one day at the store that she ran back to for a second time because one of her children felt they had to have something instead of waiting till next time Mary went to the store. The child threw a tantrum to get some candy from the store, not a necessary item. Mary one day went back to her reference of that billboard to look at the division of caring for others versus the caring of herself. Mary was able to put this experience together with her child's tantrum and what she saw on that billboard. The billboard said, quote, "Are you tired? Question mark. Do you give till it hurts? Question mark. Come see us at so-and-so mental health to get some help." End quote. Mary took some insight from this billboard that she was caretaking too much and not finding enough balance in time for herself. She was noticing how much destructive anxiety she was feeling. She saw it when she was not finding balance in meeting her needs, being overly responsive to a child's tantrum, realizing that she was constantly worried about not upsetting the children, constantly over-responding to her excessive anxiety and worry about the safety of her children. Mark is a single man who is an artist and also diagnosed with bipolar disorder and obsessive-compulsive disorder. He often goes on tasks and projects to fulfill some ideas he finds wonderful. He will need to stop at times on these pursuits to engage in his compulsions, or mechanisms that he finds from his obsessions are basically rituals. Mark avoids friends during these projects because he feels they are too slow and they'll get in the way, making him more irritable than gleeful. Mark stays up later than usual and when working on these projects, feeling like he has less need for sleep. After Mark had a number of hospitalizations for behavioral health stabilizations after the following above patterns, he was starting to reflect on life. He noticed he was starting to see some of the destructive anxiety as he really looked at it and looked at himself objectively. He started to notice how he takes on projects and how it has an obsessive nature to it, where he pushes away everything like people in his life and the need for sleep. He notices other things like his other obsessions brewing and his need to push them away with rituals. When looking at both of these, he notices how destructive anxiety is hitting him from both sides. The pressure from one side to carry out the projects versus the pressure on the other side to ritual away the intrusive thoughts from his obsessions. As he makes this connection, he realizes that this was once out of his sight and that there's another pressure that hits him from behind. He realizes that he pushes away the need for sleep because these are times when his mood escalates and he starts to burn the candle at both ends. Destructive anxiety gets the best of him. We hope you found today's topic was useful for yourself or someone else. Let us know if it was by commenting below. Let us know what you'd like to hear about or what topics could be useful to you by commenting below, and we'll take it under consideration. If you like what you heard today and would like to hear more from this Destination Psychological Wellness Hub, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. This will help you get the newest content produced by the channel to you. Please tell all your friends and family about this channel and share this and other videos with them on this channel. Encourage them too to like and subscribe. And as always, we hope your psychological wellness continues to grow with us in this community. Thank you.